Has Phyllis found a new archenemy on The Young and the Restless? On The Young and the Restless, November 26th, Genoa City celebrates Thanksgiving. Phyllis tries to get into the spirit of giving and gratitude, but she's up to her old tricks again. It didn't take her long to find a new archenemy. Key takeaways. Lily and Amy help out Esther at Crimson Lights. Kane walks in, surprising Lily. Then Phyllis shows up, claiming she's also there to volunteer. She plays a cruel trick after Lily leaves, paying it forward. On Wednesday's episode, Lily, Crystal Khalil, and Amy, Valerie Pettiford, rolled up their sleeves and helped Esther, Kate Linder, at Crimson Lights. They geared up to give back as Kane, Billy Flynn, walked in. Lily wondered what he was doing there. However, Amy told him he could stay. She felt better after sharing her feelings about Damien's, Jermaine Rivers, death with Christine, Laura Lee Bell, and Danny's, Michael Damien, wedding. Kane threw on an apron as Lily explained what he had to do. Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, also showed up to volunteer, which made Lily give up. She gave her apron to Phyllis and left the coffee house. Still wicked. We assumed that Phyllis had redeemed herself. She crashed Danny and Christine's wedding to share a toast with them. Surprisingly, her toast was nice. She could tell that the couple was happy. However, in typical Phyllis fashion, she also claimed that Christine won Danny in the end. It was still sweet even if she had to throw in a few digs. We had assumed that she got into the spirit of the Thanksgiving holiday. Phyllis assumed Kane wanted to impress Lily with his good deed. He claimed that he moved on from Lily, even though she was there. But Phyllis is the one who had the problem with this because she's jealous of Lily. New enemy in the making. Speaking of which, she walked into them talking about Kane's new venture. Phyllis told Kane that she doesn't like it when he puts her future into other people's hands. Her company will be bigger and better than his and everyone else's. Meanwhile, Lily entered and admitted that Kane couldn't be that surprised. He already knew what Phyllis was like when he worked with her. Amy didn't want to hear business talk. She was ready for turkey. Meanwhile, Phyllis was also ready to leave. She removed her apron and said goodbye to Kane. He looked on in confusion over what had happened. Phyllis is just using him to get Lily jealous, and she doesn't like that he's still pining over her. Phyllis Summers has never been a woman who floats quietly through life. She storms, she scorches, she rebuilds, she repeats. And in Genoa City, a town where betrayal is a local sport and grudges are practically heirlooms, Phyllis has carved out a legacy as the woman you either cheer for or brace yourself against. But lately, something feels different. New storms are gathering around her, new faces have stepped onto the board, and old patterns are threatening to collide with new phases of her evolution. Which raises a question the entire city seems to be whispering. Has Phyllis found a new archenemy? And if so, who deserves that red-headed wrath? Let's explore the creative possibilities, both wildly dramatic and surprisingly plausible, as only Genoa City can deliver. Phyllis Summers, a woman built on nemesis energy. Phyllis doesn't seek out enemies. She creates them by pursuing what she wants with the subtlety of a meteor. Her history is littered with rivalries that have shaped her, sharpened her, and occasionally destroyed her. Diane Jenkins may be the closest thing Phyllis has to a lifelong comic book-level adversary. Their feud is practically folklore. Ashley Abbott, Christine Blair, Sharon Newman, Nikki, Jack, Summer, even Kyle on some days, have all tasted the sharp edge of Phyllis's volatility. And yet, in true soap fashion, no rivalry stays eternal. Some shift into uneasy truces. Some burn out. Some fade because the world simply moves on. So maybe it's time for a new opponent. 3. Candidate number 1, Audra Charles, the icy strategist. If Phyllis were a hurricane, Audra is a glacier, silent, slow-moving, but capable of obliterating cities just the same. Audra is emotionally armored, ruthlessly strategic, and unwavering in her ambition. She plays at a level even Phyllis hasn't entirely mastered: cool, calculated, corporate manipulation without panic or passion. Why she'd be perfect? Audra doesn't fear Phyllis. She studies her like a case file. She's a direct threat to Summer's career path and stability. Her secret-keeping style is the opposite of Phyllis's emotional explosion approach. She strikes where it hurts most, by exploiting family fractures. Possible story spark. A corporate power struggle at Chancellor Winters or Glissade drags Summer into the crossfire. Phyllis leaps in to protect her daughter, and Audra responds by launching a campaign to dismantle Red from the inside out. The result? A chess match. A war. A cold front versus a wildfire. 4. Candidate number 2, Claire Grace, the wild-card heir to complex trauma. Claire is a character built from tragedy, trauma, and transformation. 3 ingredients Phyllis recognizes intimately. In another universe, the two might have bonded. In this one, they're on a collision course. Why she'd be perfect? Claire's emotional resilience is growing fast. She has Victoria, Cole, and the Newmans now, creating an automatic power shield. She has a quietly sharp intelligence that mirrors a younger Phyllis. She poses a danger to Harrison and Summer's connection for reasons beyond her control. Possible story spark. If something goes wrong when Claire is helping babysit Harrison, or if Kyle's protective instincts flare up in the wrong direction, Phyllis could unleash all her mama bear of grown children and grandchildren energy on the young woman. Unlike Diane, who gives as good as she gets, Claire might crumble under the pressure. Evolve into someone who fights back in unexpectedly powerful ways. The emotional mess would be enormous. The storytelling payoff? Even bigger. Candidate number 3, Nikki Newman, a rivalry reawakened. Phyllis and Nikki have a long history of uneasy alliances, backhanded compliments, and mutual exasperation. They're not enemies. They're not friends. They're combustible. But with Nikki's sobriety spiraling and Victor's zero-tolerance stance destabilizing her world, the last thing Nikki needs is Phyllis's meddling. Which means it might be exactly what she gets. Why she'd be perfect? Nikki has reached a breaking point. She has no patience left for Phyllis's theatrics. Phyllis cannot resist inserting herself into Newman crises. Both women wield sarcasm like a dueling blade. Nikki protecting Victoria or Nick from Phyllis chaos always ignites fireworks. Possible story spark. Phyllis attempts to help Nick through something, whether romantic, emotional, or business-related, and Nikki decides she's had enough. The claws come out. The vodka remains untouched, but the threats do not. This feud could dust off the classic YNR energy of powerful leading ladies battling for control. 6. Candidate number 4, Tucker McCall, the male version of chaos itself. Tucker is essentially a gender-swapped reflection of many of Phyllis's impulses: rash, manipulative, charming, unpredictable, and frequently self-destructive. Pairing these two as enemies would be like pointing two lasers at each other and waiting for one to explode. Why he'd be perfect?